Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some DPFL Darts Season 11.
Are we supposed to start?
Yeah, you guys are good to start.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah, we're ready for you.
All right, sorry, Scott.
Okay. You mind if I pull these in?
I do not. Go ahead and start. No, go ahead.
There we go. Give it a reset. All right, we're good to go. Shoot well, guys.
Thanks, Nick.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody, to some DPFL Darts. Sorry, instant confusion going on here, but now we're ready to go. We got Scott, Crosby, and Timothy Dworak on our main stream here, and I'm looking forward to seeing these guys play on the board. Take a look at Division 4 this season. So we're going to be in store for some interesting darts compared to we've seen Division 1 with Grant Evans to start us off at the beginning of the season, and then we saw a Super Cup match last week with myself and Steve McDowell. And I'm looking forward to taking a look at seeing what our Division 4 has in store for us. So sit back, relax. It is a best of 10, so 5-5 tie or first one to hit 6. Hope you guys have all been doing well. There's a lot of streams, a lot of fun action going on across the darting world. I know we've been busy getting you guys more content out there, knowing that there's a bunch of tournaments coming up, and I'm looking forward to all the different events that we have coming up. The CSC's back in session, of course. This is our
18.
first time commentating since the CSC's been fully back in the mix, as that launched last week. So anybody that's been watching along and a fan of that, it's a pleasure to have you guys tuning in, week out. Do want to give a shout out to Florida Commercial Care and Shot Darts for sponsoring this DPFL Dart stream as always, and of course big shout out to Winmore for sponsoring USA Darts as always. Looking forward to getting more and more darts on the board. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did a little video talking about my week 1 experience in DPFL, and it was the first time in a while since I made a video like that about, especially with myself. So got a week 2 video coming out here shortly, and no week 3 video, as there's no week 3 match for me. My opponent had to pull out of the league, so it gives me a little bit of time at least to catch up on the content. So give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow. We are looking forward to having you all here with us today for some fun action on the mainstream board.
$65.
Solid scoring around there. 65 scored for Scott Crosby. We're looking in this range. Around a 40 is about that average range you're going to expect to see in this range. Top of this is a group F, by the way. Top of the group currently, you can see 43. There's actually a 50 average in that group right now after 2 matches. Scott Crosby here is currently played 3 matches, won 1 of them, and is averaging a 38.04. Timothy here has played 3 matches, won 2 of them, at a 43.68. So by that logic, 5-point separation, you're going to slightly favor Timothy, but in this average range, it's just going to be coming down to getting yourself as many opportunities of the doubles, and really just getting multiple chances to try to take him up on it, because that's the difference maker in a situation like this.
41.
Don't know if you guys saw, I did do a post the other day. Facebook's actually taking down the old live streams. They're not going to keep storing them on their paid servers anymore. So if you know anybody, if you know any live streams, if you know anything you want preserved, any Facebook live streams you've seen in the past, not USA Darts, as we already have all of ours backed up, but if you know of any dart channel streams or places you used to watch darts or still watch darts that might not have a backup on YouTube, let us know. I have the Dart Archives as a new page to be able to store all those for everybody to watch at home. Make sure to preserve darts history as best we can. Both these guys are in their 2nd season of GPFL, by the way. So they've been playing with darts now for a little bit. Been both playing for on and off a couple decades now, sounds like, as Scott actually played back when he was in the military.
60.
Timothy trying to go ahead and just bring it on down. Won't be able to check it out here.
28.
28 doesn't do as much as he would probably hope, because within this range, you expect Scott could potentially leave a finish. He's been going high on that 20 quite a lot, though, finding the double more often than not. And man, that board for a Blade 6
25.
looks like it is a little bit chewed up, but I gotta give a shout out. We've had a lot of different people on our stream. We've had some questionable camera angles. These are nice and clear feeds from both these guys.
Oh, jeez. 30.
Down to 98. Scott not on a finish, so that's going to be the main aim of this game here. See how he plans on setting it up. 25 scored so far. 26 does get down to 161, so it is a finish. 98 now, the look for Timothy. 78, 38 scored. Last one was outside. I do like that these guys are rocking some different stickers on the surrounds. I've been lazy on that. I've actually need to get back to collecting some dart stickers. I need to put some on my travel case. I need some on my dart surround for when I'm throwing. I do see the USA Darts sticker on Timothy's setup there. I'm not biased, but I might have to say I like that he's giving us a little bit of love there, as that's a pretty good marker. Oh, last one got away from him though, leaving 39 on the return. Apologize about that. Got a message on my phone there. Timothy will return to the dartboard. Double 8. Outside.
23.
You can actually see on the surround, he must like setting up 32 fairly often. You can see that he's hit that surround area a little bit more than some of the other spots. His board's otherwise pristine. Is that Jeff McMammal in the chat? Oh my goodness, an icon. Jeff, how you been, buddy? It's been a little bit since we've had a chance to chat and catch up. Other than in passing through comment sections, I hope all has been well with you, good sir. Sure, you're doing great things as you always are.
Right there.
Doesn't quite go. Scott almost nailed it. Hit the double 1. Timothy now in danger. He's had more darts at doubles, but also more misses as it doesn't go. Scott 3 darts for 38. Looks like that's inside to the single 19. Leave 16 on the return. Crowbar saying, howdy, y'all. Well, welcome in. Up to the madhouse we go. And leaves it for the return. Aaron Scott saying, let's go, Team Tim. Scott, double 4.
Third dart.
Shot. The darts.
Thank you.
Gets it on the 3rd. Leg number 1 on the board. Scott Crosby does hold his throw in the end. Timothy will get the start in the next. Again, 5-5 tie or race to 6 is our format here. Phil O'Neill saying, oh, what's up, peeps? What's going on, sir? Welcome in. Appreciate having each and every one of you guys hanging out and supporting these players. Division 4, again, very different than what we are used to. So I'm looking forward to seeing the different range of skills. Jeff has been working in San Diego for an extended basis. Oh, sounds fun and exciting. I've never actually been over to the West Coast other than a brief trip to Seattle, Washington. So gonna have to go out there myself sometime.
16.
Lisa Dworak says, Adrian says, let's go, Tim. Remember, Adrian said it. Lisa didn't say it, for the record. But Adrian did say it. Just try to start controversies. It looks like 95 scored. Oh, there you go. Adjustment.
95.
There we go. It is a 95 score. They just had to adjust the previous turn. Good shot for Team Tim. Phil O'Neill saying, wish I had signed up for this. My work travel schedule is crazy, but it seems doable. It actually is. I was so afraid of playing this for the longest time and getting extra commitments going, but I'll tell you, it is really easy to be able to fit this into pretty much any schedule possible. On top of the fact that if you really need to, you can usually play ahead with your matches unless there's for some reason your opponents don't want to for whatever reason, but I've noticed a lot of flexibility. I played a lot of my Super Cup matches in advance. My regular league, I haven't played much in advance, but I have had the opportunity to. So it really works with any schedule. There's no real reason to not give this a shot. I am actually kicking myself for how long it took me to get into DPFL, and for no other reason than to just try to make better content than Jen and Will about our match recaps. Yeah, the CDC Cross Border Challenge in LA next month. I wish I could go. It's the same as I'm pretty sure it's the same weekend as NDA Team Dart. So unfortunately, I will be out there with Sir Willionaire Stewart. But if not, Cross Border is a challenge. Cross Border and Continental Cup are both tournaments I've wanted to go to as a spectator for some time now.
68.
Or for no other reason than just vlog and annoy everybody there. Scott's gonna have to just try to play a little bit of catch up. Timothy's on a breakaway in this leg. He's done very well with his scoring rounds.
100.
And that's how you play catch up. Find a ton, all of a sudden you're in range again. If we're looking in the for the expected average to be somewhere between a 35 to a 45 in this matchup, I would have to say those 100 rounds are going to be very nice when they come. It's legitimately just about your doubling percentage at this point in the game, though. You're not too worried about it. If a big hit comes, if you hit a couple good rounds in a row, even as we're seeing from Scott right now.
140.
Wow.
Good shot.
100 to 140. It can get you some powerful moments, but you see from the doubles we saw in the first leg, those are the ones that need to be tightened up. And if you can collect on those, you're going to get big results. All of a sudden, Scott's on the attack. 70 is the look. What do you got in store for us, Mr. Crosby? Oh, is that trip 12?
$62.
Leaves 8 on the return.
36. And 26.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure. I'm sorry. I get slowed sometimes.
Double checking the math, making sure no advantage is taken by accident. With 76 remaining, he did move up to go for the trip 20 double 8. Crosby gets 3 clear, added double in this visit. Now 56. You should be able to get a dart here. 24 scored is perfectly fine. 24 for 32. On the wire over to the 8. Doesn't go. Not a bad round from Timothy, but another opportunity has to get faded now from Scott Crosby. That's going to be a bust. Timothy has had more opportunities in legs. Add a double. Still not going his way. Needs to try to convert some of those rounds. Looks like that's the first dart. Yeah, that's a 2-0 jump for Scott Crosby. And like where Timothy started out red hot, 100-140 in a Division 4 matchup is absolute heat. And the rest of this group currently sitting in the first position. Joseph sitting up there, 3 matches played, 3 matches won. Then you got Timothy that we talked about in the second position with 3-2 as his record. Ryan C at 2-2 in the third. Adrian Marino throwing 3-2 right now in fourth. Crystal McCarthy at 2-1. Scott, we mentioned earlier, sitting at the sixth position, currently 3-1. Lucas Verrett, 3-1. Jeff Putney, 3-1. Mark Krasinski, 3-0. Nathaniel Shodden, 2-0, and Kevin Carter, 3-0 in their group. Again, top half moves on to that next round. So pretty important positions. You get the highest average in that group right at a 50.
40.
$100.
Nice scoring ground there from Scott. Finding those tons.
100.
Shot.
Sir.
Timothy at a 43.68 is the 10th highest average in all of Division 4, which is currently comprised of 64 members, by the way.
81.
He's hit 8 tons this season with no 140s or 180s. Scott Crosby, on the other hand, has hit 9 tons, 0 140, 0 180. So that 140 was his first of the season. Currently sitting at 39th with his 38 average.
45.
One of the big things to remember when you're playing at any level, but especially if you're below the sub 70 level, like even my own level, I consider this, but this could apply to you. The biggest thing I focus on is, yes, while I love big collects, I always aim for like top side of wires to get settled in early on in matches. I think those rounds where I hit a 60 instead of a 28 or something along those lines are so much more impactful in the deeper end. Like, yeah, if I go, single 5, single 20, trip 1, I might have been right on the wire with all 3 darts. But 28 points doesn't pull me out ahead in any matchup. But if I get that top wire and I end up hitting 3 single 20s instead, makes a big difference, right? So trying to get those floor rounds raised up does more for your average and getting your high rounds more consistently. And the way to practice something like that is play the game of groupings. And for me, there's how I do that. I throw my first dart right at the bull. I look right at the bullseye, throw it there. No matter where it hit, doesn't matter how far outside it is, wherever that first dart lands, my second and third dart, all I try to do is hit that dart. hit that dart, get in the same position. If I can throw all 3 darts the same way, I can control a little bit more of where they're going, some accuracy. So then I aim at that top wire of the trip 20,
25.
and I place a dart and it ends up going a little bit lower into the trip 20. I have more comfortability saying, oh, I could probably repeat that same dart. Same thing if it goes top wire. Instead of me doing big over adjustments and my first dart's left, second dart's right, maybe both darts find themselves in the middle. Douglas C. McKelly in chat saying, yo, what's up? How's it going, my man?
$39.
46 now. Dworak needs this one to go. Needs to get a leg on the board. Does it in 2.
Shot.
Yes, sir.
Good checkout. Good correction. 2-1 in this matchup.
2 up.
All right. Lisa's now saying, let's go to work. You're back in. And before you were just saying it for Adrian. Now you said it yourself. Team Tim speaking loudly in the chat today. Love it.
33.
Douglas saying, it's been going well. Just got done with my Super Cup match. How'd you do, man? How did you do? Which Super Cup are you in? Marissa saying this is a random Division 4 match. So how this works, if you guys are curious, the admin team picks out a match each week for us to stream, and whatever they get is what we stream. We get whoever's available to play on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is the main qualification that they look for. Last week they were unable to get a match on Tuesday, which is why I actually ended up streaming my match against Steve McDowell instead, with commentary by my dad and Steve Hilger. That was an absolute riot of a time. Phil O'Neill saying, I love the fact that you guys take the time to stream this level as well. Helps encourage others to jump in. The more the merrier. Yeah, I mean, I think there's always a benefit to streaming different levels, right? If you're only streaming the top guys, don't get me wrong, the top people had the big moments that potentially go viral and get other people involved. And I will always say that the top level darts should have priority in streaming. In fact, top level darts is the carrot on the stick. That's the reason. One of the reasons to get better is to be able to play on live streams. But that doesn't mean you should never stream other levels. I personally am a Division 1 player, and there's still a Premier Division, but yet we still stream Division 1. Yeah, I think Divisions 2, 3, 4 all deserve their opportunities. But of course, the carrot on the stick to get better, you get to stream a lot more when you're playing at higher levels.
$60.
Marissa, don't worry. We do this based off consent around here. You don't just be like, you're forced to do this unless you're in a final. Then you are forced to do it. I'm sorry, but if you're in the final of your league or Super Cup, that's your own fault. I'm sorry you did so good that you have to be on stream. I was saying, how'd you make your way into Division 1? Well, I cheated. Naturally, I was supposed to play. Well, in fact, we didn't know where I was supposed to play. I didn't have a competition card because I haven't played organized steel tip tournaments that use Dart Connect since 2019. But on my practice matches, I was consistently averaging a 60 leading up to it, and I had a couple of screens of data to back that up. So I signed up for Division 2. And then when Scott messaged me and saying, "Hey, I didn't know you didn't have a comp card, but like, is this actually where you want to play?" And I said, "What division is Will Stewart in?" And when he said Division 1, I said, "Well, I can't let Will shoot Division 1 and not." I said, "Can I play up?" And he said, "Absolutely." So they threw me up in Division 1, and currently I'm averaging after 2 matches a 64 point something, so 64 and a half, I think. And I won my first 2 matches. Third match for week 3 didn't happen because my opponent had to pull out of the league. And I'm playing my 4th match on Friday. Marissa saying, I love that, Grant, talking about streaming all different levels. I was streaming this last weekend at Port City, was so nervous, but made me throw better, I think. It's one of those things where the more you play on live stream, the more comfortable you'll get on it, but no one is ever 100% comfortable on any live stream or being recorded. Like, the more you do it, it makes you just less nervous. But I know for a fact, doesn't matter if you're top pro or bottom pro, you'll feel it a little bit. But it's the type of pressure playing on a live stream that you just can't practice, that does force you to either play better, or it forces you to understand your darts in a new way, knowing what happens to you under pressure, and that's something you can learn from. And if you playing on the stream at Port City made you throw better, then good on you, because I could tell you, for the longest time, I would get nervous and crumble when it came to live stream matches, and only in recent times I've started to get better about that, and I think that's just because I've started recording all my matches and posting my matches. It's one of those things that has made me a more comfortable player on camera, which therefore makes me a little bit more comfortable on the board in general. Doug was saying he's 1-0-2 right now. Man,
56.
sounds like you should retire. You're washed. I'm just kidding. You'll get in there. There's still a lot of season left.
$52.
Playing on stream was fun because I enjoyed listening to the commentary after. Yeah, I think it's probably the most exciting part of it, right? Is I love being able to analyze my own throw and say, oh, this is how it actually looks. This is where I could work on it. This is something I didn't know I was doing. And then hearing analysis of what other people thought I was going to do or not, because it either means, hey, I can adapt to my own strategy, and this is something I should be working on, or, oh, I could give them some clarification so they know why I do that and maybe why I would avoid doing what they're recommending. I think it's a good learning experience.
52.
Scott Crosby back in here, by the way. 64. Single 16. I was trying to find another one of those. 24 scored, though. It's fine.
Third dart.
Nails it for a 3-1 lead.
Thank you.
Versus think I cringed watching my throw during my form, but it's great to see. But exactly, like, the thing though is, you even without playing on a live stream, if you set up cameras at your own house and you set up an iPhone, and here's the thing, record your own throw, you can learn so much about your own darts. That's the best thing you can do for yourself if you want to start practicing and make big improvements in your game fairly quickly. And the thing is, don't record like you throwing 3 darts, stop the recording, look back, set up a camera, record, and play for like a good 20 minutes.
85.
That way you forget that the camera's there after a while and you're showing your true form. Because a lot of times when there's a camera there, people do throw inherently a little differently if they're conscientious of the camera. That's something you can do to make massive strides and massive improvements in your game. I know for a fact it helps with mine quite a lot, because I can tell you, oh, I didn't realize that I was bringing that dart that far back, or I didn't realize I wasn't following through all the way, or that I was doing a little micro set, like things that you don't realize because there's so many things going on when you're throwing the actual dart itself.
$45.
Looking around online, looks like there's a bunch of different matches going on. Looks like 0-0. Mark Robinson, Kerry Armstrong. We got Derek Sherburne and Joe Club 401 currently in Derek's favor, 3-0. Jesse Allen is up 3-2 over Sean St. Laurent. Ryan Hartley up 4-0 over Paul Patrocki. Casey Quinn 4-4 tie against Sean Arita Kenna. If I'm mispronouncing any of these names, I don't 41. Feel sorry. You guys should just expect that at this point. Brent Coates up 3-2 over Corey Jacobs. Mark Trenner up 7-4 over Joshua Beam. And currently 79. Chris Bear up 7-6 over Corey Beck at the moment. Sean saying another American game, love it. About to head to bed, but I'll watch this. Well, Sean, thank you for tuning in. As always, great to see you. Hang out in our chat as per usual. Douglas saying, I've had friends of mine film me without me knowing, so I can watch my form. It really helps. Yeah, but if you don't know there's a camera and something happens, that's when you're really getting a true look at your own game, and I think it's so helpful. And then JJ saying, love watching people from my group getting streamed. Yeah, I believe, JJ, if I'm not mistaken, you're the one leading the group right now. I'm going to take a look at that. Group F.
35.
Yeah, you are. Currently, JJ is leading the group. 3 matches played, 3 matches won, and is plus 12 on the legs at 40.61 3-dart average. Speaking of averages, right now, Scott Crosby throwing 6 points above his average compared to his current round robin performance right now. And Timothy currently shooting 2 above his. I think the occasion of being streamed is definitely helping play into it, but also you'll notice that with averages, it's a funny thing. But typically, the longer the match goes, the more true the average becomes. You'll see towards the end of this match that both these players might be a lot closer to their 38 and 40 than they currently are. Or you have a stand-up performance and play above. Jen Mounts in her match shot 10 points above her last week average just because she switched up her practice routine, and frankly, her average is going to continue to go up because she's coming back into her form. I don't think she realizes that yet, but I'd love to see her getting back into the Jen Mounts dominant darts. Douglas, I agree. This is my first season playing DPFL, second season streaming it, and I can tell you, it's thoroughly enjoyable. I really am frustrated it took me so long to get into this because it's been a great experience. And I'm not even paid to say that.
77.
Nice.
Good shot from Team Tim. 77 scored. Does get him into 2-dart check range. 153. Just going to need to continue to get attacked by Scott.
$41.
41, and you can hear a little bit of frustration as he wanted to get a little bit lower. First start woes for Timothy makes this setup a lot more complicated.
36.
36 scored. Still a 2-dart range, but easier 2-dart setup. 112. Can't go. Well, can go. 57 for bull. 57. Well, here's the bull. Hold on a second. No, not quite.
76.
$32 on the hit. 24 left. Over to the double 6.
Third dart.
Does go 3-2 matchup. Timothy gets the leg. Again, 5-5 tie or first at 6 gets the match. By the way, Jen Mounts, who was nervous about getting into DPFL, currently second in her women's division group. She's 3 matches played, 3 matches won.
Nice shot. Good open.
Sitting behind Cassie Scantlin, who has 4 matches played, 3 matches won, but has 4 more legs won, which is the reason she's ahead there at the moment. And for Will Stewart, for all 3 of you asking, is me being very generous. Currently sitting in 7th in his group, 3 matches played, 1 matches won, averaging a 63.08 for himself there.
49.
And then we'll see how my match goes this week. I gotta get another win on the board. Currently 3 matches played. It says 2 matches won, but that's because again, that gentleman had to pull out of our group, so it gave automatic ties. So really it's 2 matches played, 2 matches won for myself in the current group.
24.
And currently I'm at a 64.6 for the season. My goal is to average a 65 or higher and not finish last in the group. Well, now that someone's pulled out of the group, I only have to finish at a 65 or higher. So that's going to be the goal. On 56, Douglas recommends going for double bull, double 3. He's just that good.
Shot.
Thank you.
$45.
Scott can just continue to try to keep the distance nice and equalized between them. Both these players playing well. Again,
26.
that expected average range compared to where they are, they're both doing exactly what needs to get done. Average is always going to be a state of mind more so than anything else, unless you're looking at the big picture.
108 and 9 is 117. 120. 117. You are correct, sir. Thank you.
Wow, how about that?
I may be old, but I can count.
Thank you.
Big shot from Timothy and a good count from Scott.
Nice shot.
Thank you.
Sky, I believe he said he was 65 years old. Timothy, who has a very youthful sounding voice, I believe said he was 58.
39.
So, calls himself old, but they're not that far apart in age. Some young bucks on the board, if you ask me. I'm the old one here. That's just because I'm tired all the time, though. That's why I say that. JJ is saying, my goal is to beat Tim. He's had my number every time we played. Those are my favorite kind of opponents, is the one where you're always trying to play them, always trying to beat them. Maybe the one where you don't have the best win rate. Oh, wait a second.
140.
Oh, thought it was going. That was a good looking last start, too. The second 140 of the season, by the way, for Scott Crosby right there.
66.
Shot.
Brandy saying, Nikki says, go, Grandpa Tim, go. Douglas saying, I may be young and I can't count. Ain't that the truth, brother? Mark Summers saying, how do you join these leagues? Well, boy, am I happy you asked. If you want to get involved with DPFL Darts, just go over to dpfldarts.com. From there, you'll be able to find out all the information, including how to get involved, how to get on our Discord channel, or what our nightly events are, and information about the DPFL live event, and much, much more. Season 11 currently underway, but season 12 will come quicker than you think. You can play darts at the comfort of your own home, but you don't even have to wait for season 12. You can play the nightly events starting right now. Literally right now. Like, there's no reason to wait, including all that and more. I will put the link in chat right now, dpfldarts.com. You want to get involved. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing for me, why it took me so long to get involved, was I thought it was going to be harder to do the setup. It isn't hard at all. It isn't expensive. You don't need anything crazy. If you got a dartboard, you got a smartphone, and you got an iPad, you have enough to start. And it doesn't have to be an iPad. It can be literally any tablet or a laptop even. Just something where you can point a camera at the board with the Discord app. You need something you could score on Dart Connect, and that's all you need to get involved with DPFL Darts. Link is in chat. Make sure to click on it if you want to find out more.
Good luck.
That's all I had.
Crosby missed the dart at the bull, but did miss fairly fortunately. 46, not the worst return. That's a bust from Grandpa Tim. 32 should be the look. Over to 24.
Oh,
It doesn't happen. And good news is for Dworak is that he gets to approach that 16 immediately. Over to the 4. On the wire, doesn't go.
12.
That's going to be a
knew
bust
that was
there.
coming.
Back to the double 2 we go. And
Miss.
double no go. This opportunity for Timothy. Again, he's had more darts at doubles than Scott in majority of legs. Double 6 is still evasive. Doesn't go. That's a
Big
bust.
old bust.
Better than hitting a single 6 in that scenario on the last start. Even if it doesn't feel better in the moment. All over the double 2, by the way. Those are perfectly good darts, just not going.
There's always that one leg.
Yeah.
First dart.
Good shot.
And now Scott, 4-2 advantage. Timothy's in a little bit of trouble. If Scott gets one more leg, he guarantees a tie. He needs one more leg win for that. 2 leg wins for the match. Timothy, 4 away from the match win, 3 away from the tie.
Thirty.
$41.
$100.
JJ saying I might have to upgrade soon. I still have my board in one of those cabinets. Wife says it looks better. You know, a board on a wall by itself looks bad. A board in a cabinet looks better. But a board with a surround and a light looks best because it looks like, hey, this is an activity. This is something to do. A cabinet looks more like a... I used to have one. I used to have a Jack Daniels dark cabinet with my one more Blade 5 board in it. And I loved how it looked.
60.
But I'll tell you, I didn't want to play on it as much. I didn't think it was as engaging as now that I have a mount on the wall that actually extends the board out a little bit from the wall and then has the ring floating around it and the mission light on top. And I can tell you, I thoroughly enjoy playing on my board way more than I ever have. And in fact, more people that come over to the house also want to play on that dartboard more. I'm 26 years old. A majority of the time I invite someone over, especially one of my college friends or something like that. They have no interest in playing steel tip darts. But when they see the nice fancy setup with the surround and the light, they get way more interested in playing it. So I'll tell your wife that it'd be way cooler. And that you got Nick's permission, so that has to be worth something. T-Ski in the chat saying, you're a busy guy, Nick. Did you just finish playing McDowell? I did. Played Steve McDowell in the Super Cup, and I beat him so bad that he now wants to make sure the future Super Cups don't have cricket. So you're welcome if that's the thing you wanted. And if not, I'm pissed about it too.
83.
Douglas saying, if you had the padding, the light truly screams that you're a dart player. You're not wrong. You don't just casually do that because you wouldn't know to do that if you were casually hanging up a dartboard. You would think, oh, they do just belong in cabinets. But I do think with the light setup and everything, it looks more personable. It depends on your house setup, though, I guess.
43.
Douglas saying you have friends that come over? No, but if I did, okay, calm it down. I did. I'm too busy to have friends. Between beating Steve McDowell on the board and, watching my dad play Division 3, I'm traveling for dart tournaments. I'm always got something going on, I guess. Scott out in front with the throw. Important leg to win.
45.
45 scored. Gets down to 80. Dworak needs to try to get on the attack.
47.
Tiski, you were my friend, but you never come over. It's because you're afraid that I'd beat you, because I ain't no Will Stewart. That's for dang sure.
Oh.
63 scored. 17 remaining. 14 remaining.
66.
Not the ideal turn there for Crosby. And not Bing Crosby, nor Mike Crosby, just Scott Crosby. Tiki, it's not that you don't like him, it's that you don't like the trouble you guys get into together, and that's the problem. 14, the opportunity for Scott. Goes right at it. 7 left, 3 for double two. Double two it is. On the wire, leaves the madhouse.
Up to the madhouse.
You heard Scott say it himself. Douglas saying Will Stewart is better than you, except for the time that Will Stewart lost to me on stream, or the time where I've been doing better than him in DPFL Division 1, or any other time we've done anything against each other, except for that foot race. He did beat me in that, I guess. But I'm a fat guy. Were you really expecting me to win? That's a bust there from Crosby.
Bust.
Dworak, 68. This is one of the more crucial legs, and it's also one of the few times where we haven't seen Timothy get multiple darts at doubles. That's his first shot at a double there, missing outside in the bowl, leaving 35 on the return, it looks like. Madhouse is not a fun place to be. Well outside. Another bust. But Timothy still needs to set up on this first start. Outside it is, but does leave 32 in case there is a return. Scott to get to the guaranteed tie. Goes awry. 32 for Timothy. On the wire, over to the 8. Can he get it in? Clicks off the barrel and goes outside. You can hear him laugh about it. What do you want proof of? That's a bust. Double trouble at the ends. It's still going on. It's still in trouble.
Miss.
Over to the 4. And you can see those darts, Well, away from the doubles from Timothy, I think you sort of think, man, I really need this. This is such a good opportunity. You can't be thinking like that because you're going to start pushing and pulling your darts. Just focus on having a nice, clean release point and follow through. That's all you can do when it gets down to the double.
Second dart.
Good shot. Thank you.
No kidding. Golly.
You hear Timothy say thank you there.
All right, shoot well.
Drum well.
Now Scott's sitting on match point. Needs just one more leg for the match. He loses 3 straight. It's a tie. So job done for Scott for the most part here. Just needs a little bit more. I was saying proof of me beating Will. Look back. There's a live stream on Will Stewart's page. Back when the Filthy Session Throwdown happened. That would have been end of September last year. I beat him.
140.
His third 140 of the match, third 140 of the season. Scott Crosby. Really collecting well today. And look at that. Timothy, I believe he switched darts.
73.
I don't think those were the same darts he was throwing. Am I crazy? He switch?
Shot.
Thank you.
$62.
He did switch. Just double checked. Getting tricky over here.
29.
Scott with that big 140 needs to just focus on continuing to stay out in front. Nice solid scoring visits here. Nothing fancy. Oh, that's fancy.
61.
61 is fancy indeed. Gotta say, 35. Timothy is grouping those darts a little bit better, but just unfortunately in the wrong segments. And that double 20 is Scott's friend right now in the scoring phase. He's actually hit a lot of double 20s this match. He typically does go pretty high on his dart, and it's actually saved a lot of scoring visits from what could be potentially 22s, 25s, 26s.
83.
Shot.
Thanks, sir.
Scott's going to try to leave a finish on this turn. We're getting towards the tail end of this matchup. Oh my goodness.
82.
It's a great find from Scott.
$37.
You can hear the frustration in Timothy's voice start to set in a little bit. He knows that he's kind of hitting the end of the wire and this leg could be potentially lethal. You can't count it out quite yet, but you gotta imagine this is in dire straits.
Wow. 25.
$83.
Shot.
Thanks.
57 for 32 will be the look at 89. $70 left. Doesn't need to go 20 for bull. I would go trip 10, double 15. That's double 20. At least 30. At least 15.
74.
Again, at the 40 average range, I would say at 30, I probably wouldn't have been upset if he just teed it up, hit a 14.
45.
Because now 15 is a little tricky. Because 7 is an easy number to bust on. Everything except the single's bad. Like that. Oh, slams the other darts in. 83 now, opportunity for Timothy.
Oh, no.
Oh, unfortunate on the last. Doug is saying next season one, trying to play Division One. Don't like you being a higher level than me. Feels wrong. Unfortunately, I'm going to end up winning the Division One finals, and they're going to force me to play Premier. So I just want to let you know. Don't have to worry about that.
19s. Bust.
Single 3, double 11. No. Scott's still having trouble getting the second dart going after 15. Gets that one there. Double 4. Don't bust on the last. Doesn't bust on the last. 22.
7.
Another tricky one. Easy going to the 14. Easy going to single 11. All over it.
Third dart.
Does get it in. Timothy's run isn't over yet, folks. Scott had an opportunity to get away from him. Timothy saves the run. 2 legs away from the tie.
Too well.
Throw well.
If I win Division One, you'll give all 30 cents currently in your pocket. I'm good. I don't even need it. If you only have 30 cents in your pocket, actually, I guess technically I don't have anything in my pockets right now. Don't need to. I'm sitting at home. But keep your 30 cents, nerd. I do think for Scott, the most costly part of that last leg was just that going for the 30, I think, after on that last start. If he didn't go for that 30 and he spent that last start instead going at like a 14, for example, would have been a little bit easier range, because even if he did hit a single one of those numbers, he could probably set up a little bit easier. I just wonder, because of those missed rounds, he just didn't get those extra darts at a double, and Timothy didn't mess around with it that go around, where earlier in the match he was completely struggling on those doubles.
41.
It's food for thought. Now, typically, I would say if you in your level, you have to consider when splitting is appropriate or not. And with your opponent sitting on a finish, it's always a risk. But just knowing it's a 120 plus checkout, knowing that the expected average is around a 40, if they hit it, so good for them. But instead, you're giving yourself more opportunities at a doubles while they're not on an easy finish yet. I think that's probably the route I would have taken if I was Scott. Now, if Timothy was instead at like 70 or below, I don't think I'd have that same opinion.
45.
$43.
Timothy has taken the darts in this leg. I think the dart switch has been very favorable for him for the most part. These darts are definitely looking a lot more convincing, but also could be the frustration from just being in this position in the match that's kind of firing him up. I know for a fact when I've gotten towards the tail end of a match, especially in round robin play where I know the best I can do is tie, and I'm all fired up because I'm thinking, man, why was I playing so tight earlier? Should have played better. I start using that anger, that energy, and it starts transpiring on the dartboard, and all of a sudden you're back in a match you were dead to rights to in. Throw your change in a change jar. That's actually what I do too. I have a change jar. It's actually a change briefcase. It has like a little handle and it looks like a little suitcase. So it was originally to fund. I originally got it because I was like, oh, it'll be my travel fund. And now all I do is travel for work. So when I do have free time, I hardly want to travel. And then like my personal travel for this year that I'm debating about taking is to the US Dart Masters in New York, which is like, oh, I want to spend my free time traveling for more darts. But I love the US Masters. It's such a good time.
$59.
They're doing a good job of getting down in range. Scott's gonna need to find one of his patented random big collects. These are the scenarios where he was hitting those shots, which is what made them so impactful.
55.
No. 20.
A little too much gas on those darts, but should return barring a high checkout here from 167. So Timothy to make this 5-4 and would have the darts the next leg. 3 darts clear to double. Curious to see his comfort level in this double 20 considering how much he's been playing the bottom of the board. Shanks to the 5 over to the 16.
8.
101 now. The range is starting to close in here. This is where we've seen Timothy lose legs in the past, especially early on in this matchup. I would say those first 3 or 4 legs really was completely in his favor. He had way more darts at doubles.
$55.
Double 8. Double 4.
Third dart.
Nails it.
Shot.
One more leg, folks. This is it. Does Tim complete the comeback to make this a tie, or does Scott close the door like he tried to do just 2 legs ago?
$57.
$39.
This is where matches get really squirrely. Timothy on the fire for the last 2 legs, all of a sudden coming back into it. Scott is definitely starting to show some frustrations of his own, but no guarantees, because now that momentum that you do have here, Timothy, now you're thinking, oh crap, now I actually can make this a tie. I thought it was about to be a 5-2. Wasn't what you were originally anticipating.
$80.
Good shot.
Thank you.
Like I was saying, last week I got annoyed when I was 4-8 down, and I started throwing like high 70s and tied 8-8. It's so frustrating. But then after it's all over, you're like, well, at least I tied. It's better. It's better than getting an L. That's for sure. Oh, there's a trip 20 for Scott. He's hit 3 140s this match. He has hit 0 in the season leading up to this.
$45.
Scott has taken the darts away from Timothy. Anything he scores will continue to put pressure on Dworak.
$43.
Uh, 7, 78, 85. 85.
Nice shot there from Timothy. Helps recover things quite well. 40-point jump means that he's basically made this a chalk matchup. Well, it was chalk.
81.
Good shot from Scott right on back.
Nope. There we go. Back to normal. 17.
$196. Can you leave a check out here, Scott? Again, another good scoring round. Those first darts were really friendly to him. That one, well low. Overcorrection on the second. Dial it in. No, leaves breakfast. Does hit the bare minimum to leave a finish at 170, though. So, job done. Although I will say this to anybody watching, especially if you are in the Division 4 range, optimal setups, working on those, setting up your checkouts. Well, yes, you should consider those every now and again. The best thing you can do to focus on your play is get comfortable. Start memorizing that math in practice, so that way it comes natural to you in the match. But in the match, focus on that consistency in your scoring, right? Focus on that consistency in your play. That's what matters more than anything else. Because yeah, you could do the optimal setup to leave 170 from whatever mid 200 range you are. But if you're a 40 average player, the odds of you taking a 170 is statistically low. Instead, focus on getting those good, consistent scoring rounds. Again, play games of grouping that help you bring it in and really focus on getting those big 60-point rounds. Those are what will help you turn more games in your favor. Oh?
100.
Good 100. Leaves 65. 100 left for Timothy.
$29.
29 scored. Not going to feel like enough. 65. Might get a dart at a double here. Looks like a single 13. Gets a dart at tops for the match. Goes high.
25.
Is that in the 54? Oh, what a check. Timothy Dworak checks out 86 in style.
Thank you, sir. And that is it. We're done.
Wow, what a match, boys.
Damn.
Okay.
I gotta ask, Timothy, you switched darts there at some point. Why'd you do that?
Because I couldn't hit a double with the other ones.
I was wondering because I saw you those first couple of legs. You had so many darts more than Scott at the beginning there at doubles that just weren't going your way. So you were just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to switch to old reliable here. Is that how that worked?
Well, no, because I throw these darts when I play cricket because I can hit numbers pretty well with them, but I can't hit doubles with them. And I'm like, well, if I'm not hitting doubles with my double darts, I'm going to throw these and see what happens.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, that's why I switched. These are new. Those darts are new. I just got them.
Me switch.
Oh, did you switch as well, Scott?
I switched as well.
Oh,
did you?
I missed it.
Throws. Just for 2 throws.
Oh,
okay.
Normally, I use my other darts for bringing them down, and the ones I threw with all night long for taking them out. And I tried my other ones for bringing them down, and they were garbage. So I just went back to throwing my same old. I'm a Peter Wright guy. I switched my darts up, and I'm throwing Peter Wright darts.
Nice.
I do that too sometimes. I'm like that also, yeah.
Now,
but yeah, I switched to I was throwing the Rob Crosses. Those things are like 6 inches. I got super long points on them and everything.
Yeah.
To these short little Scott Williams darts. They're like so short, but and completely different.
Yeah, you were grouping them way better though on those 19s because that's when I noticed the switch. I was like, wait, those are clicking off the barrel a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. I throw these at the numbers better.
Now,
so I think I'll stick with these from now on.
Scott, going into this match from looking at the stats, I don't think you had any ton 40s. You hit 3 tonight. Was the scoring feeling pretty good for you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just been working with my pain meds. I just had back surgery last Friday.
Oh, wow.
And so I've been, fiddling here and there. I tried to kick my pain meds up a little bit. I've been up since Central Time, 3:30 this morning.
Oh, wow.
Smoking a bud. And I have been balls to the walls all day long, and my back is screaming.
All right.
So I took one of my pain pills to try and alleviate some of it, and it helped. Just didn't help enough. I couldn't capitalize on where I needed to, and Timothy's great shot. Had a blast with him.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was a great match, boys. We had a lot of fun watching. A lot of people cheering you guys on as well in the chat. So thank you again for playing the live stream, and best of luck to the rest of the season to both of you. Okay.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for everything you do.
I appreciate it.
Guys, on all the game, on all the streams.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
You and Will are hysterical. You guys kill me.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Oh, my pleasure, boys. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, you too, Nick. Thanks for doing this, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, that will do it for us here for DPFL Darts. That is the show, and I hope you guys had a good time. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, for our next DPFL Darts live stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having a good time, and have a good night, everybody.